2 minutes remaining.
Brewing screen turn, pine needles wakes up at dawn. Coffee brewing screen turned on. He's got a favorite show to see, the Maggie and Perloff Symphony. Oh, pine needles are turning tight to infinity. Sports radio every night. Maggie and Perloff, your daily delight. In their words you find your life. From highlights to the breaking news, every take you can't refuse. In the chat, he's always there with comments, questions, wisdom to share. Oh, pine needles are tuned in tight to infinity. Sports radio every night. Maggie and Perloff, your daily delight. In their words, you find your life. When the games get tough and the stakes are high, Pine Needles knows where to rely on the voices that break it down. Maggie and Perloff never let him down. He's got a playlist all saved up, from epic wins to the close-up. Loyal viewer through and through. Pine Needles, this song's for you. Oh, pine needles are tuning tight to infinity. Sports radio every night. Maggie and Perloff, your daily delight. In their words, you find your life. So here's to the fan, always engaged with every comment, every page. Pine needles, you're the heart and soul of the Maggie and Pen Page. Pine Needles wakes up at dawn. Coffee brewing screen turned on.
Welcome back.
He's got a favorite.
Maggie Gray, Andrew Perloff. So Thursdays around here, we do something called the Multiverse. We reimagine sports, a little sliding doors situation. And today we're talking about the legacy of Kobe Bryant. And if he had won a sixth ring, which all it would have taken was just beating the Celtics 2007, 2008, he would have had 6 titles. There was another loss. They lost to the Detroit Pistons, obviously, in the finals when he was still with Shaq. But digress. If they had just won in 2007, 2008, he's got 3 titles with Shaq and then 3 titles post-Shaq. Would Kobe have been considered the greatest of all time? Let's go to Aaron, who's in Erie, Pennsylvania, has a thought on this. Good morning, Aaron.
Hi, how you guys doing?
We're great.
So, if David Stern doesn't get in the way of the Chris Paul trade to the Lakers in the first place, and he gets a true running mate and someone who is an alpha at a younger age, who could score the ball, dish the ball to him a little bit more, take a little bit of that pressure off in some of his older years, I guarantee he wins at least 1, if not 2 chips back with the Lakers going on. And also when it comes to LeBron, if Kelly Olynyk doesn't rip Kevin Love's shoulder out of his place in the playoffs in 2014, that Cavs team beats the first iteration of Steph Curry easily, as they went to 6 games with Matthew Dellavedova as his best running mate.
Remember, Dellavedova had to go to the hospital? Like, literally hospitalized. He left so much out on the floor. Aaron, it's a good call. Let's take them separately. So the vetoed trade, the Chris Paul vetoed trade, was coming out of the 2011 lockout, if I'm remembering this correctly. Hornets, New Orleans Hornets were in a really bad state in terms of their ownership group, and David Stern nixed a trade. A 26-year-old Chris Paul eventually going to the Lakers. Okay, so would that have given Kobe another ring? It's not impossible. I mean, Chris Paul has never won since then, so it's not like he's this known winner. But I think that would have been easy to imagine.
Totally, because when you think of rings, you think of Chris Paul. You don't think of State Farm ads. That is getting a little multiverse for me. A
little too multiverse?
I understand. Like, yes.
No such thing.
At the time, I do remember thinking, oh, man, they're robbing the Lakers of another championship. But I certainly don't guarantee. And also, too, the Kelly Olynyk thing.
So Kelly Olynyk was on the Celtics at the time.
Yeah, and he ripped whose shoulder out again?
Kevin Love.
Kevin Love.
And that first iteration of the Warriors, I mean, you might be right about that.
Yeah,
Kyrie got hurt too.
Yeah, also too, if Steph Curry doesn't slip on a wet court and is fully intact for 2016, and Draymond doesn't hit somebody in the you-know-whats,
LeBron,
then the Warriors. I think if you're going to multiverse it, I think it's a closer multiverse that the Warriors win in 16. I mean, they were up 3-1.
They were. I mean, they definitely should have won that series. Nobody's come back from that deficit before then or since then. So it was historic.
I just think there's a lot of ifs in this. I understand it's an if conversation.
Right.
To me, that feels...
You think the Chris Paul thing has
Chris
nothing
Paul
to do with this?
is real. I will not go with the injury to Kevin Love.
Chris Paul, in the year that he did not go to the Lakers, finished third in MVP voting and then fourth the following year. I mean, he was an elite player at that time.
Yeah, we'll see deep in the playoffs would Chris Paul show up.
He's not. He's
But you
not
have
playing with
Kobe.
someone like Kobe, though.
That's the thing. You've got your
difference.
closer.
Yeah. He was asked to be the closer in a lot of those teams where he was not able to.
Yeah, but he also played with some great players. I mean,
He did, but also guys who are known for kind of, I don't say choking, but like James Harden. Are you really going to count that? The Clippers, just as in general, a team that's never, ever won.
I just played with
Russell Westbrook.
Steph Curry.
He did just play with Steph Curry, but let's be honest, we're a little past the prime here.
Last dance.
Both guys.
Yeah, I mean, Curry still got it, but Chris Paul's a little past the prime. I don't think we have enough time here to do this Lamar Jackson. Should we do it real fast? Lamar Jackson, do you have something else to say about this?
I just said Kevin Durant, too.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah. I mean, actually, he's played with pretty much 17 Hall of Famers and not won a title. But go ahead, please.
We don't have a lot of time, but let's just do this. So Lamar Jackson was asked about his weight loss. We mentioned it. He's down like 20 pounds. He said that he wants to be more agile.
And what was the main reason for losing that weight?
Just so I can be more agile, be able to move more.
Okay, wants to be more agile, wants to be able to move a little bit more, but you're asking at what cost? Is he sacrificing some of potentially his durability for that? And then joke that he's not giving out these weight loss tips for free.
How you did it is diet, exercise, Mediterranean, cut out
Nah,
candy.
man, I'm a charge for that, because people be doing these little plans and stuff, and they still be, having their weight on them. No, not to offend anyone, nothing like that, but yeah, you have to pay for that.
He said new TB12. This is the LJ8.
The amazing thing about Lamar Jackson, he answers pretty much any question about anything with the same, just positivity. Like, if, there was a meteor coming to Earth, I would want Lamar Jackson on the podium. There's a meteor coming to Earth, but, we'll deal with it day by day. The guy, he answers every question the same way, and it's always that was a very pleasant answer from you, Lamar Jackson. Even this, okay, I'm on board.
Do you believe he said he doesn't know how much he weighs right now? I don't believe that.
I don't know how much I weigh. Do you know?
With the
guys,
professional
do you know how much
athletes, they're very aware of this, especially football players.
Quarterbacks? Patrick Mahomes probably isn't stepping on a scale.
His body shaming of Mahomes is bananas.
I believe that he doesn't know.
I think it's going to hurt him.
Wait. There are three men here right now. Do you guys know exactly what you weigh in right now?
No.
I have no idea.
Not really.
Do you know, Meg?
Yeah. And I'm not sharing it with the class.
Oh, well, I'm sure it's a fine number, but
No.
really, you don't know what you weigh.
I do. We have a scale in our bathroom. It's the hardest machine in our house. No, I don't know. We don't have much machinery.
No,
You don't know how much you weigh?
I have no idea.
Step on the scale today. Report back
We
tomorrow.
have a digital scale. I will do that.
All right. Maybe we'll take some bets. What do we think Perloff weighs? It's like counting the jelly beans in a jar. Whoever gets the closest without going over. Anyway, 855-212-4227. That was that. Dak Prescott was at the podium yesterday. What did the Cowboys quarterback have to say about his future in Dallas?
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. 4 minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. Forty-five seconds remaining. Thirty seconds remaining. Fifteen seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Maggie and Perloff on the Infinity Sports Network.
I think we were lied to yesterday by one Dak Prescott. You can be the judge. Welcome to the show. Maggie Gray, Andrew Perloff. At the podium, Perloff, where you say most professional athletes do their best lying.
Yes, but there are lies that sound like they could make some sense. I'm not sure this one qualifies.
Okay, so Dak Prescott's at the podium. And what has been the number one topic with Dak Prescott over, seems like almost his whole career, but definitely the past year and a half, and that is his contract. Dak says that he is not concerned about the contract right now.
Business is business. I'll leave it where it gets handled. Right now, it's about being my best for this team right now in this moment. OTA is helping these guys out, and just focused on that. And I know my business will take care of itself. And so, been in it before, experienced, and just controlling what I can right now.
Okay, so that is fine. That's pretty much athlete speak. But he maybe took it a step too far when he said this.
I don't play for money. Never have, never cared for it, to be honest with you. Would give it up just to play this game. So so I allow that to the business people to say what it's worth, what they're supposed to give a quarterback of my play, a person of my play, leader of my play, I guess you can say. And for me, it's about, as I said, control. I can control and handle that part, and the rest will take care of itself.
You can tell that there was a moment, I think, where it sunk in like, oh, man, don't say that. And he, to his credit, kind of saved it at the end. Like, I'm paid what I'm worth and all of that. But to say you're not doing it for money and you would give the money up, this is the last thing you should be saying in a negotiation. And on top of that, you don't have to apologize for wanting to make money while also playing football. Like, you don't have to prove how much you love the game just to get the money, right?
Well, I don't think him saying that is going to be used in the negotiation. I don't think the Cowboys, Stephen Jones, would be like to the agent, like, he said he didn't want money. I have it. It's right here.
He plays for the love of the game.
Yeah, the agent would be like, get out of here. So the thing, though, is if you're Dak and you really do have this attitude, to me, what that translates is I'll be like Tom Brady and I'll take 6% to 10% less to allow more talent around me. And honestly, Dak has not done that in his career. So that maybe that's what he's saying. And maybe the Cowboys should hold it to that. They should say, well, if you're not about money, then take a little bit less so we can bring in more talent around you.
See, that's a fair point, and I think you could hurt yourself in a negotiation, that way. Or the other part would be, then accept our offer. If they've indeed made an offer, then why aren't you just accepting it?
That's a big if right there.
Maybe it is, but if he's willing to accept, like if it's not about the money and not getting $1 more than Joe Burrow or whoever contract he's trying to top, then sign a contract.
Oh.
Now, the thing is, I think that's why this is maybe a little two parties could be playing chicken here. Because I'm not so sure, and we've talked about this before, that either party really wants this. You know, Dak may want to be the Cowboys quarterback till the end of time, or he might want a fresh start somewhere else and try to win somewhere else in a different way. And the same thing could go for the Cowboys. Maybe they want to start over with someone else too. So I think this is maybe in some ways by him saying I'm not playing for money is kind of like daring them, like, all right, then make me a contract offer if you think, you know, I'll just accept it. Or I don't know what this is. This is bizarre.
I agree with you on the second part of that formula. Maybe the Cowboys want to move on. There's no way Dak Prescott wants to give up that star on his helmet. To go where? And for what? And if he doesn't care about money, he's going to get a lot less marketing money in Carolina than he is in Dallas. There's no way he wants to leave the Cowboys.
I don't know. I mean, look at Matthew Stafford, left Detroit, and he was able to go and win it with the Rams.
Yeah, wait, what's different about this formula?
Well, what if Dak Prescott goes to Miami? He could play with Mike McDaniel. Maybe he wants to play with a different coach. Who knows?
Well, regardless,
Get away from Jerry.
Matt Stafford leaving 11 years of futility in Detroit and a franchise that had never won a Super Bowl and never done anything to go to L.A. is a lot different than Dak Prescott leaving the Cowboys. You don't leave the Cowboys. You go to the Cowboys. They're the Lakers of the NFL.
Okay, but he's already been there, and he's already kind of done that, and he already is a very rich person, and if someone else is going to be willing to offer the type of money when you hit free agency, look at what Deshaun Watson just showed us, right? Deshaun, who was coming, stock couldn't have been lower, and he got $230 million guaranteed. Dak has these clauses in his contract that he cannot be franchise tagged. And he also has a no trade clause, so he can determine where he wants to go. He can't get traded to Carolina if he doesn't want to. So he's being really smart about this. If he can dictate kind of like Matthew Stafford did where he wants to go, he might end up in a better situation, and it'd be free agency, like the holy grail for professional athletes in their prime.
Deshaun Watson would take 30% less to go to Dallas right now. I'm telling you, people want to go to...
But he took the $230 guarantee to go to Cleveland.
But the only reason he got $230 from Cleveland is because he's like, I'm not going to Cleveland. He could have gone
to Atlanta.
He very much came out and said, I'm not going to Cleveland unless you give me like tons of extra money because I don't want to go there.
Okay, but...
And it worked. And Dak's not doing that.
He didn't have to take it.
But Dak's got plenty of money. Dak's already made a ton of money. He is not going to choose a lesser team for money. Trust me, he wants to be the Cowboys quarterback.
What makes you think it might be a lesser team?
What's a better team? What's a better market than than
But
Dallas.
that's different. You're saying market and the popularity of the Cowboys. We're talking about winning. If
what's a team
Cowboys can't win in the postseason?
What's a team that? Okay, you're right about definitely right about that. But they've won 36 games over the last 3 seasons. What's a team that's out there that needs a quarterback that is better than that? What's a better position than this?
Well, what about after this year? So let's say Dak's obviously going to play for the Cowboys this season. So we're really talking about next season.
Yeah. Give me a spot.
Why wouldn't the Rams be available? How much longer is Matthew Stafford going to play? He could go and do the same thing. And we didn't even think that Tampa was going to be this like sleeping giant. And Tom Brady went and took them into it, made them into a champion. I think playing with Mike McDaniel in Miami would be very appealing. I think there's a lot of places that are appealing. There's other
you got me
coaches
with
out
Sean
there.
McVay. You got me with Sean McVay, but Sean McVay doesn't want Dak Prescott. He doesn't need. You don't pay $53 million to pair somebody up with. First of all, they're going to maybe have to pay Stafford that. I think McVay doesn't need to pay up for Dak Prescott because McVay's such a good offensive coach that he can take a lot of quarterbacks. So that's a huge premium. I don't see that working unless Dak's going to take less money. And what is Miami won ever?
Well, they haven't, but he might want to go with McDaniel. You're just saying there's no life outside of Dallas, and I'm telling you, I don't think that's true. Who would ever dare leave the Cowboys? Like, why not?
Because the fame of the Cowboys is a big deal, and also
He's
too,
already famous.
It's a gorgeous stadium, and they do have a good team around them, and it's all the attention. I think it's hard to give that up. I think a lot of players in the NFL want to be a Dallas Cowboy.
I think you couldn't pick Stan Kroenke out of a lineup, and I think he might like that too. I don't know if he cares about Jerry Jones, but there's a lot of other things that come with the Cowboys, and you say yourself, they'll never win while Jerry Jones is the owner. You've said that multiple times.
Well, the organizational it's messed up. The owner's way too involved. He's their GM.
Exactly. So why not go someplace that's a little more traditional where the owner's more in the background?
Because I think once you get used to this level of fame and adulation and have incredible success on the field, like I just don't think there's anywhere, maybe LA with Sean McVay, but even that, I don't think it's the same as being the quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys. And he's had so much on-field success there, too. Right. You can't ignore that at all. He was number 2 in MVP voting last year.
I know, and they can't, and half the fans, more than half, can't wait to ship his ass out, and they don't even want him there. So, like, to me, I think this is maybe the question, EJ, like, is there life after the Cowboys? I think there is. Now, we haven't seen it with, like, Troy Aikman and Tony Romo. These guys retired, Roger Staubach. Like, they all retired as Cowboys, so we don't necessarily see it, but sure, he's already famous beyond belief. It's not like all of a sudden people are going to forget who he is if he goes and plays for Kevin O'Connell.
They absolutely will. Dak Prescott's Q level goes down 500 points if he goes to Kevin O'Connell, wherever, to some other city. He's a non-entity. Honestly, like to Dak Prescott.
I don't think you put that genie back in the bottle.
I don't know. Like, honestly, Cam Newton, incredible, the face of the league. Like the last iterations of it were
Carolina didn't
terrible.
do that for him.
Well, I'm just saying, like he went to New England and became an afterthought. I'm just saying, you leave the good situation and you go. Well, you're right, because Cam fell off as a player, but I don't think Dak Prescott all of a sudden he's.
Do you think Joe Montana got less famous because he went to Kansas City? No way.
Well, Joe, yeah, but Dak
Prescott was a much bigger winner. I'm just trying to think of people who left their situation.
Dak Prescott's basically Kirk Cousins in another city.
And Kirk Cousins in Atlanta is just as popular as Kirk Cousins in Minnesota and Washington.
Right. But he's not Dak Prescott with the Dallas Cowboys. There are not all these Oikos yoga commercials with Kirk Cousins. It's Dak who gets all the commercials because he's a Dallas Cowboy.
To be honest, I don't think Dak even gets that many commercials. I'm seeing Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce in every single commercial.
He seems to only get the negative side of being Cowboys quarterback. I don't know.
No, he got Sleep Number. He was actually
he got Sleep Number.
He had more marketing money, I think, than anybody. Like
Baker
3 years
Mayfield
ago.
had more commercials than he did.
Dak was high up there. You'd be surprised because I know when Cam lost all his commercials, they all went straight to Dak.
Right.
Dak was a huge factor in marketing.
I know, but even just like anecdotally, when you're sitting watching football for 12 hours on a Sunday, do you feel like you're being hit over the head? I feel like I see George Kittle more. I definitely see Mahomes and Kelce more.
Travis Kelce, yeah.
Dak's gone down a little bit. There's no doubt about it. But he was, George Kittle. Dak had, I think there was a point where Dak had 5 big national brands on, like Frito-Lay or something like that.
I feel like Peyton Manning still has all the commercials. How does this man still have all the commercials? 855-212-4227. Perloff, you think it would be a bad idea for Dak Prescott to leave Dallas. I don't think that's a bad idea.
Good idea or bad idea. I don't think Dak has any interest in that. He had Sleep Number, Oikos, Frito-Lay. Those are 3 of the biggest. And Sleep Number is one of the biggest NFL sponsors. I'm telling you, Dak's a big deal. And he would not be a big deal. And I'm telling you where he's going. It's Carolina. And that is,
Well, he has a no trade clause, so he doesn't have to go to Carolina. Or if they just blew him out of the water.
I'm just saying,
money.
like a late 30s quarterback, it's not going to be great. He's going to have to go to a lesser situation that needs a quarterback.
I know, but if you believe what he said at the podium, which is where this whole conversation started, which is he's not doing it for the money, then he might not take that, payday from Carolina just to take it. He might not take Deshaun Watson, taking all the Cleveland Browns money when maybe there was a better spot to go to. He could pick and choose where he wants to go if he's really serious about this. And so why not go to the Rams? Why not go to the Dolphins? Why not go to, I don't know.
I'm looking at this. I'm looking at a Forbes list of football players, and I know they're taking total earnings, but they have the off-the-field earnings also included here, and Dak's not here. He's not on this list.
What year is
that
Lamar?
This is brand new. This is May of 20. This is last week.
What ads does Lamar have?
Well, a lot of his money's on field.
Okay.
But in terms of guys who have the most off the field, based on just what I'm seeing here, Mahomes first, then surprisingly Justin Herbert, then Aaron Rodgers, then Joe Burrow, then Kirk Cousins, and then Lamar Jackson.
Interesting. 855-212-4227. Dak going to a different organization. Who do you think's holding up a future of Dak and the Cowboys? Is the Cowboys holding it up? Is it Dak holding it up? Because I could see both. I could see him wanting to hit free agency, and I could also see the Cowboys being hesitant. 855-212-4227. All right, a lot to do. This story is crazy. We're about to bring one to you. Tell us what you would do if you were in this situation. We'll bring that to you next. It's Maggie Perloff.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. 1 minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. "45 seconds remaining. "30 seconds remaining. "15 seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Welcome back to Maggie and Perloff. An NFL quarterback gets up on a podium and says, "I don't play for money," and you criticize him. Dak Prescott,
I just don't believe him.
Love of the game, Cowboys. Now, I would say if there's a quarterback in front of a mic or a podium, as Tom Brady taught me, he's probably lying. Mm-hmm. Dak, you got to come up with a better lie, because we know that's not true.
We see right through this one, but his future with the Cowboys is certainly in question. 855-212-4227, that massive cap hit that's about to take effect. $55 million. They never did anything to try to minimize that at all, or they haven't to this point. So,
well, I mean, they have time.
We have time.
Yeah, we have time.
We all do. But it's just not getting any cheaper out there for quarterbacks. So wait till Trevor Lawrence signs. You think that's going to be...
But I don't know that Dak is saying I have to be number one. Like, does Dak think he's better than Joe Burrow?
He was the runner-up in MVP voting last year. What would you say?
I would say I have not won a playoff game in forever. I'm happy being the third highest played quarterback.
What if he doesn't believe that Jerry Jones and...
Also, I don't think Trevor is going to pass Joe Burrow necessarily. He's going to get 50, but not 54 or 55.
These things don't tend to go backwards.
I think they will.
For the elite quarterbacks. And I don't know if Trevor Lawrence is elite, but he's going to get paid like an elite quarterback.
Let's talk about taxes, too, here.
Yeah, I don't want to do that.
Trevor Lawrence is in Florida. Dak's in Texas. They could take a little less.
I've got this story. You're welcome to weigh in, by the way, on Dak Prescott. And will he be the Cowboys' quarterback after this season at 855-212-4227? Do you want him to be if you're a Cowboy fan? I think he would have other good options of places he could go after Dallas, and Perloff doesn't think there's really life after Dallas for a lot of quarterbacks. He wouldn't want to leave just for the pure stardom and prestige of being the Cowboys
and also,
quarterback.
too, a mid-30s free agent quarterback is not going to have his choice of places necessarily. He's going to end up going somewhere that needs a quarterback, which by definition could be problematic.
Okay, so you are welcome to weigh in on that at 855-212-4227. Can I bring in this other story? Because I was not aware that this was happening until recently. You know that the Paris Olympics is coming up.
Yeah.
So one of the big selling points beyond just Paris being a really cool city is that the open water events, we're talking about a lot of the rowing stuff and like triathlon swim, they're actually doing that in the Seine River.
Cool.
Which is the major waterway that goes through Paris. It's a lot of bridges. You walk over it. Gorgeous. A watchdog group did a test on the water in the River Seine.
Okay.
Bacteria and high levels of E. coli. You know what that is? Caca.
Oh, okay.
This is dirty water, and it's untreated water, and it looks like it's pretty bad. Now, allegedly, they're working kind of around the clock or working very hard to clean up the water and get it to a place that's not going to be toxic. But right now, it's not looking that way.
How do you do that short-term clean up a river? I know there are efforts over years that can have an impact. Can you quickly clean up a river?
I think they're saying there's a few things that are going to be working in their favor, which is like the weather getting warmer, I guess, more sunlight. I don't know. I'm not a scientist. And just flooding it with cleaner water, I guess.
Okay. All right. That doesn't sound environmentally efficient either.
Caca. So
but you're not drinking the water. You're fine on a boat. There's no problem on a boat.
No, there's no problem on a boat. But if you're swimming in the water, you're not intentionally drinking it. But you're going to get some water in your mouth.
The swimming part is a little more disturbing.
A little more.
I don't know.
Which I would give up. I wouldn't even do the Olympics. If they're like, you got to swim in the poopy water, I'd be like, no, I'm not doing it.
We live in New York. There's all sorts of people swim in the water here. It happens all the time.
And I think those people are crazy.
You're not supposed to drink the water when you're swimming. Maybe you get a little, I mean, I hate to say it, when you drink a glass of tap water, I'm sure there's all sorts of things in there.
Yeah, but I drink filtered water, first of all, because that's insane. And also,
maybe that'll be another food bet. You have to drink something straight out of the bathroom
toilet?
faucet
No.
here. No, so you won't drink sink water in New York. It's the cleanest water in the country.
No, New York is so treated, and they put so much fluoride in it. I love it, but I now live in a place where they do not treat the water, so you can't. It's not like the wastewater, but they don't put a lot of extra things in it. So like my kid has to, we have to give him fluoride.
Mine too.
Vitamins and stuff like that. Yeah.
What do you guys?
It's not wastewater.
Live in the Middle Ages. You have to give extra fluoride.
I live like 7 steps outside of Queens, like New York City proper. Like we get no more fluoride. Here's a pill.
They're using so much. And that's why all of our teeth look so great. But here's the thing. Let's bring it back to the Olympics. And for these athletes who have to swim in this beautiful yet contaminated river, allegedly.
Are you really surprised?
No.
It's the IOC. I mean, come on.
No. This is France. So it's the French OC.
Right. It's France and the Olympics. The big scam artists.
Before the Olympics would have known that France had this issue.
Right.
It's a modern city, guys. I know.
I'm going to be there next week or 2 weeks.
I know. You're going to have a great time. You're going to see this beautiful river.
Not swimming.
Don't jump in.
No, just learn. Thanks, Maggie.
Can they put like a chlorine ball in there or something?
Yeah.
You shock it. It's not a pool waking up from winter.
Bring a couple Cabana boys over, get the leaves out while we all watch.
There's enough chemicals that could wipe some of that stuff out. There you go.
Yeah. Maybe the city of New York could help them. They could use it. We know a thing or two about dirty water.
Don't people
hot dogs.
swim the English Channel?
Yeah, like Diana NORAD or something.
So just do it on that side of just do it out there, wherever they do that.
I don't think that was the selling point. I think the selling point was the beauty of doing this through the Seine, but now you're in a wastewater.
Just do the boat events, okay? The swimmers will have to go somewhere else.
What if someone falls overboard?
What if they just do, I know it's maybe sacrilegious, do this event not in Paris. Do it somewhere where it's clean.
But do those cool river things they do.
I think we're also overlooking the fact that this was not, to Pete's point, like the IOC and the French, they're not the ones who came out with this. It was a watchdog group. Like they might be trying to, I'm not saying they're hiding it or covering up, but they have not been forthcoming about this.
Imagine a swimmer wins this competition and not knowing what happened, and then all of a sudden they're violently ill on the gold medal stand. What's going on?
I see that interview.
With E. coli?
Yeah.
Well, I think open water swimmers are used to this kind of thing.
Used to E. coli?
Oh my God, are you kidding me? Yeah, if you're swimming out,
yeah,
totally.
Time.
I'm telling you, there are swimmers all over this Hudson River right around us. Yeah, I think if that's your event and you're a triathlete, yes, you are used to a lot of weird stuff.
But don't those people that are around here and maybe other parts of the country, don't they usually wear almost like scuba gear?
Yeah,
yeah, and they probably will be.
Yeah, triathlon people, they don't wear that. They just jump in the water they just rode a bike. So
I have a friend who does triathlon.
I think they do wear scuba gear, don't they?
I have a friend who does triathlons, and he said you swim in disgusting water all the time. I remember him saying that.
Why can't they just do this part in the pool?
You're not drinking a glass of water. I don't know.
You can't do it in a pool.
Swim a mile in the pool?
No, the whole part of it is that you're dealing with the elements. So if it's a windy day or there's whatever, is a part of that. It's like playing in a dome.
This is not, by the way, I'm going to be a poo-pooer here, but
no pun intended.
It's not a huge Olympic event. What event is this? The triathlon or something?
Yeah.
It's triathlon. I mean, I hate to be this guy too.
Yeah.
Part of me was don't we cycle out some of these Olympic sports? We're still doing triathlons for the Olympics.
I didn't even know they did it in the past. That's been an Olympic sport?
Definitely.
Yeah. Yeah, they do all those long distance running, long distance, all that. They do all that stuff.
Well, that stuff is cool, but like the triathlon is more of a modern event, right? And like, where's LA's triathlon going to be?
Pacific Ocean?
Oh, that's a great question. I have no idea, honestly.
Pacific Ocean, why not?
Yeah, I guess you're just going to run into the ocean
It'll
and
be
then
a simulation.
swim up and down for a little bit. And then
Oh,
run
okay,
out
so
of
it
the
could be
beach.
in a river or an ocean. Because no, triathlons are typically oceans, right?
Generally. But again, this was part of the selling point for the Olympics, doing all this stuff in the Seine.
Did Paris really need selling points? It's Paris.
Yeah, that's true.
This is okay.
They should have on the application if your rivers disintegrate your clothes, you cannot apply for the Olympics.
Yeah, right. If it spontaneously combusts when you walk into the water, you come out with a third eye. I don't know if it's like a nuclear power plant, but sure.
I mean, the bar is so low for Olympic cities now that like,
well,
nobody wants it, right? So I'm sure they're happy to give it to Paris.
Don't look at these new sports. They're also surfing. Where are they going to surf in Paris?
I think the south of France.
They're just going to just not be in Paris for that?
Yeah.
Probably. Why don't they just do that then for this? Just move it away.
Is this the Olympics? Is breakdancing coming?
I think it's here.
Yeah, I think it was here last
time
maybe.
too.
It was?
I think so.
I'm really excited
We'll
for that.
effort that.
Who's judging that? Jamiroquai?
That'd be cool.
Yeah, this year is the first year for breaking.
Hey, Jamiroquai actually is judging that. Well, he's more of a pop and lock guy, but yeah.
the qualifying events. Did you guys catch any of those?
Oh, the breaking?
Yeah.
No, I didn't see any of the qualifiers. It was.
I mean, this could become our best export.
We got to win this. We invented
No,
this.
we're not good at this.
I know,
It's
but
all
I don't
Europeans.
care, Pearl. We got to win this. It's New York City. This is the Bronx. They invented this. We got to win.
I saw all the front runners are like kids from Amsterdam or something
That was
weird
like
like
teenagers in California.
We need to find the Kobe Bryant of breakdancing. He's got to be the redeem team, and we got to win this. We can't lose.
The
redeem team of breakdancing.
Bogush has headlines.
Oh, thanks. If the Eagles,
get me out of here.
Yeah, if the Eagles could be tired 10 months after the Super Bowl, Anthony Edwards and the T-Wolves could be tired 2 days after that furious Game 7 rally in Dallas.
We came out flat today. I mean, and then we found our energy, then we went back to being flat. So I think it was just on us. Everything was on us today.
But they did still lead 102-98 near the finish line last night, but then the Mavs went on an 8-0 run to steal home court with a 108-105 victory to open the Western Conference Final. Luka Doncic scoring 15 of his 33 in that fourth quarter after Kyrie scored 24 of his 30 in the opening half. Edwards managed just 19 points, only 16 from Karl-Anthony Towns. Jaden McDaniels did score 24, but it's not ideal when he is Minnesota's leading scorer. MVP Nikola Jokic leads the first-team All-NBA squad revealed last night. Luka, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Giannis, and Jason Tatum complete the group. 39-year-old LeBron, a third-team pick, the oldest player to ever be selected All-NBA.
Did you see this other Stat Muse had this one where LeBron James has more All-NBA selections than the Pacers, Timberwolves, Magic, Clippers, Cavs, Heat, Nuggets, and Trailblazers?
Whoops.
And Mavericks? Just him alone has more than the whole team history.
As it probably loses NBA basketball, TNT gaining college football playoff games. Turner and ESPN announcing a 5-year sub-licensing deal. TNT will get 2 first-round games immediately. In 2026, it adds 2 quarterfinals. ESPN remains in charge of everything and will always broadcast the semifinals and the title game.
That's crazy. I didn't even think this was an option, that they would sublease these out. So 2 are going to go to TNT. I'm assuming, though, it's an ESPN-looking product.
And talent that I don't know about.
Is it just going to be, we're going to produce the game, but you carry the game? And now if 2 games are going to TNT, are 2 more games going to Amazon? Or 2 more games going to who else?
Oof. Well, I know there's a little bit of a conflict this year because I believe first-round games would be up against NFL games. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if this is ESPN just clearing a window to do NFL on that day because they can't
do a weekend.
Yeah.
Ooh, I didn't think about that.
But a streaming service would take this on because you
I'm saying
can pick whatever
ESPN
you want.
might not want to sell any more games. They might have done this for the logistics of if there are 4 CFP games today and we have a Saturday NFL doubleheader, we don't have a place for 6 games. So let me give 2 to TNT and I can do the rest of those games, but I can't do 6. And they don't need to keep selling other ones.
You would think, though, that they could manipulate the schedule how they want. ESPN owns it all. They
Yeah,
bought
but
it
there are
all.
only so many days, though.
Put it on a Friday as opposed to a Saturday.
They're not
no
gonna
one's
do
watching
that.
on a Friday.
Yeah.
Still, put it on
And
Monday.
also, isn't TNT in this new thing, whatever it's called? Isn't this so? Like they're
that-
half partners too, right?
That evil
Warner Discovery
thing they're
Yeah.
going.
Oh,
so
the
they're buddies as well
all-encompassing
already.
streaming service.
Yeah.
Venue, right. We say it like it's allegedly venue. It's like something we're all going to have, and it's probably going to make our lives a lot easier.
Oh, no. It's going to make our lives a lot poorer because this is somebody fleecing us for money. Don't give me easy. It was easy when I could flip around and watch games. Nothing, whatever.
A trip to Seattle didn't get Caitlin Clark and the Fever their first win of the season. A Storm holding on for an 85-83 decision despite Clark's 21 points, 7 rebounds, and 7 assists. This road trip continues with L.A. tomorrow night and Vegas on Saturday.
Did the Fever ever play at home? What's going on
They
here?
just did.
Okay.
But again, I think everyone else has played 3 games, and they're going on 6. It's just like Caitlin every other day, basically.
So, 5 of her first 7 games are on the road.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, Ani Bose, NFL schedule maker.
The best story in sports continued last night. Those lovable Phillies took care of the Rangers 11-4. Their 36-14 record is the best 50-game start since the 2001 Mariners. But manager Rob Thompson remembers that Seattle club fell short of the World Series that year.
So you got to keep going. It's you just got to keep grinding, keep pushing all the way through.
I mean, we'll get
inspiring.
we'll get to October
Yeah.
eventually.
Yeah.
But can you imagine being 36-14 on May 23rd? What a start!
Hey, Rob's going to need more inspiration to not lose again in the World Series.
It's like historic what they're doing.
Yeah. By the way, can we talk about Bryce Harper's numbers starting to go up?
Another
Maybe
home run last night.
3rd MVP. That'd be put him in rare territory.
And-
Bryce Harper, 3-time MVP. Can we
And
talk about
wingman.
that? What do you mean?
Forgetting prom dates for kids now.
Okay, prom dates for kids. And by the way, he would have won another MVP, but he got hurt. I'm telling you, that guy is a first ballot Hall of Famer.
See, that prom thing, Bryce Harper went with a kid to ask the girl to go to prom and did this promposal, whatever they call it. I like that kid because it takes a confident person to introduce your date to a professional athlete.
Oh,
Because-
yeah, but there's no way Bryce was going for that.
No,
girl.
I know, but I'm just saying in generally, I don't think men want to introduce their dates. This is high school.
But
I'm
how about
saying if they're older.
How about the confidence to ask Bryce Harper, cold call him to help you with this, with your high school date?
Yeah, Maggie, nobody
He's
said
very
that.
confident.
Everyone's like, oh my God, I can't believe he reached out to Bryce.
Also, she hugged Bryce first.
Oh, yeah.
I asked him for a job in the front office.
He said no, too.
Yeah, they don't.
You're just not going to be somebody's GM. You need to get off that dream.
Unfortunately, they don't need your help. They're good.
I would have brought Jason Kelsey with me. That would have been even more entertaining video-wise. Who would you guys ask if you had to have help from prom date? It's like
Of those two?
or just general. Like if you could ask any athlete, I know there's no New York Mets because you want somebody recognizable too.
And they all won't be on the team next year. So
Maybe Pete Alonso, but
It'd be funny because if it was a Met, you're not 100% sure how the reaction go when the person opens the door. They
Or
might
they
just
would
slam
mess
it
it up.
shut.
yeah. But if you're in Buffalo and you brought Josh Allen to ask a prom date, I mean that is who's saying no to that?
I don't know. I'm not in the. I didn't ask anybody to prom.
When you okay, yeah, but when you were asked to prom in
Yeah.
high school, did a professional athlete have any role in this?
No.
Was J.P. Losman at the door?
Professional athlete in Binghamton would have been front page news anyway.
Probably would ask like a Serena Williams.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Like I'm trying to think of who Andrea would like be impressed by.
Right.
Like-
Well, okay, that's
Caitlin
sort of cheating. I think Maggie's point was you don't want to be overshadowed by a male athlete that the
I'm just saying-
date will have a crush on.
Yeah, I'm not for a 17, 18-year-old. I'm talking about later when everyone's all legal and everything. A general rule of thumb: don't introduce your dates to professional athletes.
Well, you don't bring Jeter, but you can bring Bryce Harper is like very, very happily married. He's doesn't drink. Like Bryce Harper's fine. Don't bring Jeter. That's
John
a no-brainer.
Starks.
He might miss the door.
You're not
He
a
might be
Knicks
knocking
fan.
on the window.
What? Come on, man.
That was good. Okay.
Yeah. How about for those of you who are still new to hockey, it is not good when you score more into your own net than into the other team's.
Down into Rangers territory. Shesterkin well out to play this one. Gave it right to Verhaeghe along the far boards. Verhaeghe back up front. Tip off a Ranger and they score. Carter Verhaeghe centered it. It went off a Ranger and the Panthers have a 2-0 lead with 3:48 to play.
Alexis Lafreniere, a Ranger, tipping the puck past the Ranger goalie, while no Ranger beat Panther goalie Sergei Bobrovsky. A 23-save shutout, a 3-0 win for the Panthers at the Garden to start the Eastern Conference Final.
Okay, so I had a question about this. So you're scoring on your own goal.
Yes.
Is this the worst you can feel as an athlete? Like, is this the biggest mess up you can have? Worse than like giving up a game-winning home run? I actually think misplaying a ball in the outfield that ends up costing your team would be worse because then you just have to stand out there. You can't get back and play defense.
I call it a Jake Bogus, yeah.
Oh my God,
Perloff.
You are the meanest.
He's 10.
I'm sure you're not wonderful out there in center either.
Perloff just emptying the clip today.
Just rough. Now the Phillies are doing well. He's got all this confidence. Oh my goodness. Anyway, the worst thing.
I can't wait till the Phillies lose 3 games in August. So you're no longer a Phillies fan. I told you they were bad.
When he's a Dodger fan.
Yeah, here's my Royals hat.
Like I saw
Eagles town.
I saw. Yes, that's definitely coming. That's what he said when they lost the World Series.
Kellen Moore, at offensive coordinator. Let's go, baby.
Page. No one turned the
It's
page.
not going to really matter what happens in a World Series.
Yeah.
Right, schmush.
This is you guys are out of the playbook.
So I guess I crossed the line, by the way. He's like, now you guys are getting really bad.
Yeah. You call it the Jake Bogus. Oh my gosh. But Zay Flowers said yesterday he's still not over the fumble at the goal line. He hasn't gotten over that yet from the AFC Championship game. I'm just thinking, like, what's the worst? What's the lowest moment?
I mean, I think to me it's because this play gets played over and over and over again. I think it's still worse than an own goal is running out of your end zone if you're a quarterback.
Really?
That is you look completely incompetent and scared.
That's worse than giving up a grand slam?
And who's done it besides
Everybody gives up
Orlovsky?
grand slams. That doesn't happen. Right? Nobody's ever right. I don't think anybody's done it. Not the way Orlovsky did it. Shout out to him. No disrespect.
Someone did it this year.
He's not listening.
I think Kyler did it or someone else.
Somebody really good did it. Like Baker, maybe Baker stepped on the end line.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like Orlovsky because Orlovsky was still like
In the
looking
white.
downfield.
He was in the front row.
That got him a job at ESPN.
We can all laugh about it, including him. Yeah, he's rode that to the bank. But
I mean, obviously, there's a documentary on the self-goal that got the guy killed in Colombia.
the soccer goal.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, and soccer doesn't mess around either because that Lafreniere, if you look at the box score, there's no mention that he did this.
Yeah.
It's given to a Florida Panther player. In soccer, it gets written down as Johnson OG, like as for own goal. Like they let you know.
Here's his address.
That it, yeah. I mean, like there's no escaping it. You can go back in time and never know that happened last time for Lafreniere, and it was accidental. But in soccer, it's on paper for forever that you did something to put the ball in your own net, and maybe you get then shot.
I'll tell you, the Viking that ran the wrong way, that's another one.
Yeah.
Running the
Jim
wrong.
Marshall.
But see, those are the things that are just they're like 1 in a million, right? Like this is something that does happen. Giving up game-losing grand slams happens. Misplaying balls in the outfield. I just think there's something about like if you fumble the ball, odds are you might get another carry, right? Like you're going to get a chance to redeem yourself. I feel like sometimes in the outfield, if you misplay a ball, you're just standing out there now waiting for the inning to end. And then you might not even be up to bat in the next half inning to try to redeem yourself.
Well, I think the other one too, and I keep thinking of plays that live in infamy and they can't shake. I also think about calling a timeout.
Oh,
you don't
Chris
have
Webber.
one.
Yeah.
That one, it makes people think you look dumb.
Yeah.
Makes you think you're
Yeah.
choked. Like that's another one that's tough.
I still think I'd rather be anybody but Bill Buckner. Like that still seems the worst.
Bill Buckner.
This could be a good debate. Worst gaff. I'm actually looking at a list of worst gaffes. I have Nick Anderson's missed free throws. It's a big one when Lindsey Jacobellis fell right near the. What was the
She was
long
a
distance?
snowboarder, and she tried to like create this Olympic moment. And she fell right before the finish line, and someone finished in front of her.
And the marathon runner or Mary Sloan Decker who
Don't look at me.
Somebody, famous story in the 80s, this famous, I got to get it right.
She cheated, right?
No, she fell apart right at the very end. She was about to win this long distance race.
Not like Rosie Ruiz type thing.
No. I think it was like losing a long distance race at the last minute because she maybe twisted her ankle or something. But actually, this is really fun. The number one gaffe is not Bill Buckner.
Is it Leon Lett?
Nope.
Is it?
It is related to somebody's fandom in this room.
Oh, get out of here. It's Scott Norwood?
Scott Norwood's won over Bill Buckner. I don't even know why. Dude, this is a long field goal. This is so unfair, but it's very enjoyable.
This is why. Because technically, and not even technically, just the fact, it was game 6 with Buckner.
No,
this was the Super Bowl.
I know,
The
but
game was tied.
She's right.
But the Buckner was way bigger.
Well, the Buckner game was tied.
Right.
They would have went into the extra innings.
Yeah.
It wasn't like it was it was the deciding thing. But
And they had a whole other game.
He made the
they
play.
had to-
They go in the extra inning.
They had to play game 7.
Yeah, but it was a 47-yard field goal for Scott Norwood.
Yeah, but back
that's not
then
a
you
gaff. That's a missed field goal.
Back then, they weren't hitting 47-yarders like they do now.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like, that's a normal mistake. Like, that's not Bill Buckner letting it, or
No, but I
Jackie
think it's
Smith
'cause it's
dropping it in
Super
the end
Bowl.
zone.
I think it's because it's the Super Bowl and not game 6 of the World Series.
But I think, like, Jackie Smith's drop is famous because that's a drop.
I also think a pitcher giving up like the go-ahead home run when their team's about to win a playoff series or a World Series. I mean, go back to the 86 playoffs and you look at Donnie Moore.
Yeah.
The Angels were right there, about ready to go to World Series.
Ooh, that's depressing conversation. But anyway,
back to you.
Alexia Frenier scored on his own goal. And
Way
now
to break it down with Donnie Moore. Jeez.
Sorry.
Let me lighten the mood. NHL coaching news. The Devils are hiring Sheldon Keefe just weeks after the Leafs fired him because heaven forbid you go outside the circle.
What a surprise.
And P.S. Toronto replaced Keefe with Craig Berube, whom the Blues fired during the season. So that just remains the most incestual whatever relationship NHL coaches.
Actually, I'm amazed you got to a coaching hire. There's no Lavalette or Tortorella.
This is the new wave.
Okay.
Yeah. These guys are early in their careers. They will soon be there.
Bogusch, thank you. It's informative and entertaining. Coming up.
By the way, once again, the Rangers lost yesterday.
They did lose.
I'd keep quiet if you're a Donnie Moore story. Read the room. All right?
We've got a lot more to do, including going to try to make you a little money tonight. Perloff's got some picks. Do that next.
You're in a 5-minute break.
In a kitchen dark with shadows long, Andrew Perloff sings his eerie song with a cauldron bubbling and a wicked gleam. He's cooking up a devilish dream. Andrew Perloff, the spooky chef king, with devilish ideas that make nightmares sing. Wolves' testicles, a sinister feast. In his haunted kitchen, he's the culinary beast. He starts with a flame, burning so bright, casting spooky shadows in the dead of night, slicing and dicing with a sinister flair. Wolves' testicles, he's preparing with care. Andrew Perloff, the spooky chef king, with devilish ideas that make nightmares sing. Wolves' testicles, a sinister feast. In his haunted kitchen, he's the culinary beast. Maggie Gray, unaware of that, to taste the horror from Perloff's pan. With bull's testicles, every bite. In Andrew's kitchen, it's a ghastly sight. He'll fry 'em, grill 'em, make 'em just right, with potions and herbs under the pale moonlight. A dish so eerie with a spine-chilling bite. Bull's testicles served with a fright. Andrew Perloff, the spooky chef king, the devilish ideas that make nightmares sing. Bull's testicles, a sinister feast. In his haunted kitchen, he's the culinary beast. So if you're brave and seeking kitchen dark with shadows long, Andrew Perloff sings his eerie song with a cauldron bubbling and a wicked gleam. He's cooking up a devilish dream. Andrew Perloff, the spooky chef king, with devilish ideas that make nightmares sing. Wolves' testicles, a sinister feast. In his haunted kitchen, he's the culinary beast. He starts with a flame, burning so bright, casting spooky shadows in the dead of night, slicing and dicing with a sinister flair. Wolves' testicles, he's preparing with care. Andrew Perloff, the spooky chef king, with devilish ideas that make nightmares sing. Wolves' testicles, a sinister feast. In his haunted kitchen, he's the culinary beast. Maggie Gray, unaware of that, to taste the horror from Perloff's pan. With wolves' testicles every bite, in Andrew's kitchen it's a ghastly sight. He'll fry 'em, grill 'em, make 'em just right, with potions and herbs under the pale moonlight. A dish so eerie with a spine-chilling bite. Bull's testicles served with a fright. Andrew Perloff, the spooky chef king, with devilish ideas that make nightmares sing. Bull's testicles, a sinister feast. In his haunted kitchen, he's the culinary beast. So if you're brave and seeking the right, step into Perloff's. In a kitchen dark with shadows long, Andrew Perloff.
30 seconds remaining. Fifteen seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Welcome back. Maggie Gray, Andrew Perloff. Okay. Game 2, Eastern Conference Finals is tonight, Perloff. I've already placed my bet. I'm not sure about you.
Okay, what do you got?
I went Pacers money line on this. It's plus 310 over at DraftKings. Listen, the trend has been Celtics have lost these game 2s. It's not even really because of that. I think the Pacers have found a way to respond when they've had some pretty bad losses, and this one couldn't have been worse. I mean, they had game 1 absolutely dead to right until they essentially fumbled it away with some bad passes, and they're right there. I thought those mistakes were uncharacteristic. I don't think this is a team that generally has 21 turnovers in a game, so I'm betting on a bounce back from the Pacers, plus I like the value at plus 310.
Yeah, no, I like that a lot, especially because of the game 2 history. I do count that. The Celtics, as a team that has just emotional lapses, I don't feel great about them tonight, so I'm going to go on a prop bet.
What do you got?
I got Timothy Joseph McConnell. Double checking that. Timothy John McConnell.
Okay.
TJ, as you know him, TJ McConnell.
Yeah.
The incredibly effective bench player and former Sixer. I admit I'm going with him, former Sixer. Over under points, 9.5. So he's had double digits in 4 of his last 5 games. And basically all but 2 playoff games out of his last 8 playoff games, he's had double digits. I feel like they need that guy on the court. I've been saying that all postseason, especially against the Knicks. It felt like he was really kind of the heart of that bench and very effective. And he was pretty good against Boston in game 1. I feel like as the playoffs evolve, it's more TJ. I never would have predicted him when he was a Sixer being deep in the playoffs like this, but Let's go with Timothy John McConnell.
Okay, there you go. So a couple of bets for you, some things to keep an eye on for tonight. Want to update this poll for you. Got two at Maggie and Pearl on Twitter. One is, will Dak Prescott's career be better off if he leaves the Cowboys? And right now, basically dead even at 50-50.
Well, that's exactly the question. It's not will his career, like, will he want to leave the Cowboys? It's not just a football question.
No, I think that, and I like this spin on it. Like EJ, kind of taking it one step further. The Cowboys haven't won, and there's a reason why. And it's been not just one thing, but a variety of things. And so if he actually, and as he said, I'm not playing for money, right? This was the big quote that's making the rounds now. Dak Prescott said, I don't play football for money. I play it for the love of the game. If that's really even a shred true, then he could leave for a better situation. There could be a more winning situation out there, because when do we really think the Cowboys are actually winning a Super Bowl?
Yeah, but he's going to be 32. He could be facing the downside of his career. He could be Joe Flacco for all we know. I mean, he could be gone in 4 or 5 years. He's got a good situation here. He plays basically indoors, and he's got the NFC East. Like, there's no better situation for him.
So that's one. The other comes from our multiverse, the multiverse of Maggie and Perloff, which is when we reimagine things in sports. Today's what if or what could have been is, if Kobe Bryant had 6 titles instead of 5, would he be more widely considered the GOAT? Would he be up there with Michael Jordan and with LeBron James, where really Kobe's not in that conversation? I mean, he's not even the greatest Laker of all time. I think most people would say that's Magic Johnson. And right now, no is an overwhelming 75% to 25%.
Yeah, and also I think Kareem is higher on the Laker list, which is funny. Kobe is. I almost want to put Kobe on a different list.
Okay.
Because he's a GOAT in his own way. He's the greatest Kobe. He was just so different than those guys, too. I don't love the apples-to-apples comparison of Michael Jordan and LeBron James, because Michael Jordan had an unfair advantage that he actually had the power of human flight, which no one else had. Yeah. And then LeBron was just bigger and stronger and faster. I feel like Kobe, nobody maximized their talent more than Kobe. He was just such a killer. He's the ultimate killer. Most competitive guy out of that whole list.
Well, more than Jordan? I don't know about that.
I think in a way he was, because Jordan did rely on physical gifts that Kobe had, but not to the level Jordan had.
Yeah, I think that Kobe would like the comparison, though. Kobe, it seemed like, was always trying to make the comparison between him and Michael Jordan. So I don't think it's like Apple. I think he was modeling his game so much after it. How do you put him in a different category?
But Jordan could stay out to the casinos at 4 a.m. and still just be the best player out there the next day. Kobe couldn't do that.
No, and just didn't. And I thought there were a few things that would have gone in Kobe's favor. Had he won 6 titles, could he be considered the greatest of all time? I think people would have said, oh, he had to do it in an era where it was 7-game series. It was really tough in the Western Conference at that time. Not that Jordan was getting cakewalks, but it was very hard in the Western Conference. I think people love his maniacal dedication. Right. He would have not had 2 years off as Jordan did to go play baseball. All those things would have factored in, and you could have had a good case for Kobe.
Nah, I don't think so. I think everyone gives Shaq a lot of credit for those early ones, too, thinking that, oh, well, everybody on the other team had to cover Shaq, so Kobe was open. Mm-hmm. That's the thought out there. I'm not saying that's all. As it turns out, Kobe was probably more impactful on those teams than we knew at the time. At the time, it felt like Shaq's titles.
Well, he was the finals MVP, for sure. So there you have it. You can go vote. You're welcome to, at Maggie and Pearl. If you ever miss any part of the show and want to check us out, you can always hit the rewind function on the Odyssey app. It's free to download. It's crystal clear. Or the Maggie and Perloff podcast, where if you could leave a 5-star review, we'd be so kind. It seems like a small thing, but it really does help us out. Also, youtube.com/InfinitySportsNet, twitch.tv/InfinitySportsNetwork, where I doubled down today. Taking my life in my hands.
You're going to regret this, Maggie.
In some ways. Where I've now doubled down, and I've double or nothing my bet with Perloff. Now, if the Minnesota Timberwolves lose to the Dallas Mavericks, not only do I have to eat the tuna lime jello with the green olives, I also now have to eat the Rocky Mountain oysters. If the Timberwolves come back and win, I'm scot-free.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you, EJ Stewart. Thank you to Pete Pilati, Andrew Bogish, Andrew Kaplan, Guido's Coffee Drinkers, Ross Dellinger from Yahoo as well. See you tomorrow.
You're in a 5-minute break.